We know how much you love follow buttons, so we put one right there. Yeah, that's it right there. So go over to Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts and hit that doggone follow button right there. We'd love it. Yeah, right there. Welcome to episode 15 of Full House Rewind. I'm your host, Dave Coulier. And our guest today is back to join us for yet another episode. She's a very successful actress and producer, and you probably know her as Rebecca Donaldson or Aunt Becky. Here's a picture of Lori when Full House was on the air. Isn't that adorable? Hi, Yingy.
Oh my goodness, where did the time go?
I know, it's like, oof, it's gone. Welcome back. Thanks for doing the show. Again, we're doing episode 15, also known as A Pox in Our House. Episode 15 was directed by Joel Zwick.
Oh, Joel.
Yes.
Crazy Joel.
I know. It first aired on ABC on January 29th, 1988. And you got your glasses.
I have my glasses.
Okay, so you're going to give us a little rundown on what happened here on episode 15 of Pox in Our House. Okay. You got it? Okay.
Yes. Danny is excited about the chance to play basketball with the Harlem Globetrotters, but when his family contracts chickenpox, finding a babysitter for Michelle seems impossible.
Ooh, okay. So we're going to describe what's happening in the episode together, and I'm going to start us off, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Episode 15 opens in the living room with Jesse and the Rippers singing a cappella, a beautiful version of Todd Rundgren's Hoja, which was released in 1985. As Joey, Danny, and Michelle listen in, DJ and Stephanie race down the stairs to join in on the fun. After the Rippers say goodbye and exit, we learn that Stephanie is not feeling well. Danny discovers that Stephanie has the chicken pox.
Wait, with the opening scene, was that with all the guys? John was singing with all those guys? And Lanny was in it, and Gary. And
Yes, yeah. It was a beautiful version.
It really was good.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Danny tucks Stephanie into bed as DJ, Jesse, and Joey come in to lend their support as Joey gives Stephanie a teddy bear and an air horn. It's the next morning, and Joey and Jesse discover that they also have the chicken pox.
Because don't you want to give your kid an air horn?
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's always that's like giving your kid a drum set.
Although I did tell my daughter to buy an air horn today, or a bear. The same thing, bear horn, air horn, is it sort of similar?
Why, is she around bears?
So I guess when she takes the dogs out walking, there apparently have been some mountains.
Bear spray.
No, like a noise. One that would make a noise, because there are some.
Don't you need bear spray too?
I don't know if she has that.
Yeah.
She has like a horn.
If she's seeing
something
bears,
with mountain lions,
I would arm her
or not bears. It had to do with something for mountain lions.
No,
and
bear.
By the way, small world. You know who told her that she ran into on this hike? Adria.
No.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And Adria recognized her and said, "I know your mom."
Okay, so it was Adria Later is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
And she was the social worker that worked with Mary-Kate and Ashley.
She was the school teacher.
School teacher too.
She was the school teacher.
Yeah,
and
I always thought it was like a...
She was the school teacher, and then she became the baby wrangler.
That's right.
Yeah, for Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Wow.
Anyway, I went way off the track of the show.
You went way off the track.
Because the horn threw me into a whole other spot.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to pull us right back on the track right now.
Get us back on track.
Okay, here we go. Back to the show. A Pox in Our House. Stephanie, but that's okay. See, we can veer off like that.
I can do that, okay.
We're coming right back to the show.
Just
that's
a
right.
little insight to how my mind works.
Yeah, if you have more about anybody who's at the zoo or, you ran in. Yeah, like if you saw a monkey at the zoo.
Ex-Full House friends that we see on hiking trails.
Yes, just jump in. Stephanie puts on a disguise and tries to sneak out of the house. As she makes her way to the front door, Jesse stops her and they head upstairs. Joey and Jesse are applying calamine lotion on their chicken pox and have a contest where they try not to itch.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was
a funny scene.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Danny tries to find a babysitter so that he can go to the Warriors game as Joey, Jesse, and Stephanie begin to sing a rendition of Sam Cooke's Chain Gang to cope with their itching. DJ arrives and offers to babysit. She and Danny share a heartfelt moment, and then Danny leaves for the game.
The episode ends with Joey, Jesse, and Stephanie shouting orders at DJ. And there was always a moment where, they would shoehorn some song. In this, it was Sam Cooke's Chain Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always get a moment
There
where
was
you
a
can.
lot of singing.
A lot.
We
Well,
had a
you
lot of
start off
singing.
with Jesse and the Rippers.
Yeah.
Doing that beautiful version of
That actually was really
Hoja,
really-
which I'm going to talk about later in the episode.
No, it was good.
Joel Zwick. We got to talk about Joel, who directed episode 15.
Tiny, mighty Joel.
Yes, yeah, and John always called him Gallagher because he looked like Gallagher, the comedian, with his crazy, he had a bald head and then long hair on the
He
side.
did.
Do you remember how crazy he could get though?
He was out of his mind. But what I really remember was he would get so mad.
Yes.
And never in front of the kids. It was only when the adults were rehearsing, but he'd
Right.
get so mad and he'd be yelling at all of us. And then you or Bob would crack a joke or do an impression of him yelling,
Yes.
and he would lose it. He would
Yes.
start laughing.
Well, and I'll tell you how that started. When we were shooting the pilot, Joel was directing, and I remember I missed a line. And remember when the directors, they weren't on the floor, they were always up in the booth because they never had Video Village, they had that upstairs. So he'd be up in the booth, so he runs down.
Come over the mic, right? Oh, he came
He
down?
ran down, left the booth, and he runs down. Everybody's like, oh, Joel Zwick. Because he was a legend already by the time he got to us.
What was it? Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley? Was it
Mork
all?
and Mindy, like everything.
Yeah.
Tons of Miller Boyette stuff too,
Right.
right? So Joel comes down, and I'm pretty sure it's me that he's going to be angry at because I was goofing around a little bit and then I missed a line. He runs down and everybody just stops and he makes a beeline over to me. He gets this close to my face. Well, I had to bend down so he could get that close to my
He's
face.
little.
Yeah. So he's yelling at me. He's like, I asked for actors and I get comedians. You and SAG couldn't act your way out of a paper bag. You miss your lines. You're not funny and this and that. Why don't you read the script? And he's going and everybody's just frozen because he's going off on me. And then I looked at him and he's just, blood is coming out of his eye sockets. And I just looked at him and I thought, it's do or die time. I either have to say something right now or it's over. He's going to steamroller me the rest of the series. So I just looked at him and after he finished, I just looked at him and I went, what are you saying? And he laughed and he goes, what I'm saying, all right, get back. Everybody back on the set. And he walked right away. And I thought, whew, thank goodness I came up with something because I knew he would have just pushed me around and he would have had the upper hand. But I made him laugh and I disarmed him with laughter. And that's what me and Bob used to do.
You guys did that all the time with him.
All the time.
Yeah.
One time, Joel, I think you were there for this episode. He ran down from the booth and everybody was in trouble. He's like, everybody, I want to see the entire cast up in the reading room right now where we used to do our notes.
Yeah.
Everybody, get up there right now. So we all walk up there, right? And Joel is ready to rip into us. And then Adria walks in with Mary Kate and Ashley, who weren't in the scene. And he's like, okay, now everybody, please, can we just get together and, get through this, please? But they melted him and it was so funny.
Yeah.
And I remember Bob walking down the steps with Joel and he just goes, okay, everybody, please. Shut up, Saget. Get back and act.
That's funny.
Joel called me a beer fart one time.
Why?
Because there was a scene where Joey's not supposed to be paying attention. So I wasn't paying attention. And Joel forgot about that from the script. So he thought I wasn't paying attention. Oh my God. And he runs down. And he goes, what are you doing? Like, you're somewhere else. You're not paying attention. And I go, Joel, it's in the script. It's right there. Joey is not paying attention. He goes, oh, okay. Now get back and act, you beer fart. And he was walking away. I go, beer fart. And he just kept going. I said, he called me a beer fart.
God. He's so funny.
He was funny. But you know what? We all loved him.
Oh, he was great.
And man, he was good.
He did the most episodes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we had Rich, and then John Tracy did some. John Tracy.
Yeah.
And
Rich Carell.
Rich Carell.
Yeah. And,
but Joel, I remember Joel. Oh, and Billy Foster did some early on.
Coffee.
But then I remember Joel came on, and he was pretty much with us for most of them.
A long time.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 of them.
Yeah.
Out of the 192.
Yeah. He was funny, and I was taller than him.
You were. So, yes. You were taller than Gallagher. Hey, the Rippers were on this episode. Did you ever get to know any of those guys? Can you name which ones?
I know Lanny and Gary.
Any other ones?
No, I don't. I can't.
Randell.
Oh, Randell. Okay, yeah.
Neil was
Neil.
a later
Yeah,
Ripper. Here's one you're gonna be kicking yourself that you didn't. Roger Lodge.
Oh, Roger.
See?
Oh my gosh.
Roger Lodge. Do you ever become friends? Do you ever get to? Well, Gary. I guess you probably knew Gary the best out of that group.
Gary and Lanny, and then and he was never on. Was Jimmy Joe, John's friend Jimmy Joe, ever on the show?
Yes, I think Jimmy Joe was on the show.
Yeah.
Boy, he was funny.
He was funny.
Those Orange County guys were funny.
They were funny.
They were very.
Jimmy Joe was when he was Papa Do Run Run,
Papa
right?
Do Run Run.
And when I met early on, when I met John, and he took me to Disneyland, like we talked about in the last episode. We went to see Papa Do Run Run. It was Jimmy Joe. He was one of the first friends of John's that I ever met.
Was that a date? Was that a date?
I guess
Did you and John ever go on a date, like an official one?
I guess that's what we were very young. I think I was 17 and I think John was 18 years old.
Oh my God. And he took you to Disneyland.
Yeah. So I guess that we were friends. Maybe it was a date, but then I don't know, never really, whatever. But it never morphed into anything. He's so funny. He likes to tell these stories like, no, we kissed on Splash Mountain. I'm like, what?
You kissed on Doritos Cigar Mountain is what you kissed on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's so silly.
I used to make fun of John where I used to say, you know, when you're in your 70s, you're going to play a character who's a detective, Choppy.
That's funny. I remember
and you're going to be in a motorized Barcalounger chair where you chase the criminals on the street in your Barcalounger chair, and you're going to have a little guy who's your assistant named Sammy. And all you're going to want is a cigar, a sub, and your back support pillow. And you just bark orders at him like, Sammy, gar, sub, pillow. Do you remember that?
I do remember. I also remember you did it. I don't remember the character that much anymore, but I remember we would go to lunch and you would be this character. And I would talk to you and ask you questions the entire lunch. I don't remember which
character that was.
I don't, and I would ask you all these questions.
It wasn't the beef hoof guy, the guy who talked like this, who was a farmer.
No, I want to say no. He was a little. I don't know. Anyway, it was.
Oh, was it the Hawaii guy, the maitre d'?
Oh, maybe it was the maitre d' guy.
Hi, I'm the maitre d'. I'm from Hawaii.
And I would interview you, and we would all go to lunch. But I would ask you
million. That's a nice plant right here. That's very nice.
And I would be like, so how long have you worked at the hotel?
Yeah, because that was the impression I did of the guy who was the maitre d' when we did the Hawaii episodes. Remember, he was always smiling.
He's always smiling, like a happy fish.
Yeah, like a happy fish. You go out, you go swimming, you snorkel, you put this on, and there's a happy fish. They come and they swim up to you and they go, hi. They almost like they're smiling.
I just remember for the entire lunch hour.
You would interview me.
And you would not break character.
Well,
you
I had some
problems. You would not break character.
But you always did that.
But not character.
You always did that. You would always interview me in character.
I would interview you. Yeah. And you would, and it would.
Well, I would do the bug in the tree and I would come
that was funny too.
I would come into your locker room, or I would do. There's
Not
characters
my locker room, my dressing room.
Your locker room, your dressing room.
Sports
locker room. Yeah, Lori, she's one of the guys.
When we played hockey.
The locker room. Yeah, she would wear a cup for crying out loud. That's how committed she was to the game. Oh boy.
You would come in the tree. I had a plant.
I would do that. You had a
fake plant in my dressing room.
And were our dressing rooms both? We were both upstairs.
It was. You came up the stairs. My room was straight ahead.
Right.
You were to the left, and Bob was across.
And
the
then
hall.
John was
under
the
three of us.
stairs.
And then John didn't want to be near any of us.
No.
So he was down on the other side of the stage.
Yeah, he had him, like we came back after.
They built a room for him.
They built a huge room. So he's like, hey, when I come back, I want a big dressing room.
And you know what I remember about that too? He liked to take his naps and whatever when we had our breaks. And I remember Mary Kate would play handball on the wall outside his room. It drove him crazy. And he'd come out and he'd tell her to stop. She'd look at him and she'd just start playing ball again.
And then the Friends cast. I always wanted to find out. I always wanted to ask Matthew Perry, who was a buddy of mine, who I miss. I always wanted to ask Maddie, who had our rooms.
You know what they did? I know what they did. They rotated. They changed rooms, I think, every season.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forget who told me that. Maybe Lisa Kudrow.
Because that was stage 24.
It was stage, yeah.
But
I remember
Warner
one
Brothers.
time I went there to visit because a manager and a friend of mine, he represented David Schwimmer, and we went one night to see the show or whatever. And I remember Jennifer Aniston was in my room, but then they were talking about how they would switch because you had a bigger room, Bob had a bigger room.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess they would rotate on that show.
Jeez.
But all that stuff was built for us
That was built for us.
That was all built
that
for
was
us.
Tom Miller and Bob Boyette said, this is going to be our permanent home.
When they moved us from Lorimar over
from
to
Lorimar
Warner
to
Brothers.
Warner Brothers. We went back there. Remember when we went back there for Fuller House? You and I went back. Do you remember? I'm gonna ask you this. We went back to stage 24 at Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I were there. I don't know if we were just meeting with Jeff or we were there for some reason, but we went back and we were looking at our dressing rooms and they were building the set, right?
For Fuller
Fuller House.
For Fuller House.
Yeah, and you and I were there years before during the original Full House. For some reason, I was making Bob laugh, and I took a pair of my underpants and I threw them up on top of our dressing rooms. Was it you and I that went looking for my underpants and I crawled up there?
I don't remember that.
You don't?
Was it Candace?
I don't know, but I remember.
Did you find them?
My underpants weren't up there, and I thought, who would have taken my underpants? Like someone, I mean,
By
you
the
see
way,
in a pair of underpants?
I know you for years. Who would have taken your underpants?
But that's a different show. That's a different episode. That's a
poop show.
It is a poop show. Yeah. That'd be a good name for a podcast. The Poopcast.
Poopcast.
The Poopcast. Who do you think? Boy, we had some weird guest. I won't say weird guest stars. Yeah, a little strange. Who was like they were, right? Who was the weird?
Little Richard, right?
Do you think Little Richard was the weirdest, strangest one?
Well, we had a chimpanzee.
Right. We had Mickey Rooney.
We had Mickey Rooney.
Phyllis Diller.
Oh my goodness.
Frankie Avalon and Annette.
Oh, they were so great.
They were very sweet.
I did a movie with them years ago. I played their daughter. Back to the Beach. What a great.
They were so nice.
I just saw Frankie recently in a restaurant. I hadn't seen him in years. He does not change. The man does not age. He looks amazing.
He's got to be 80s, right?
Yes. He looks fantastic and just charming and lovely as ever.
I saw Frankie Avalon in a restaurant in Detroit way after Full House. And I walked right by him and he goes, "Hey, Dave." I go, "Frankie?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm here in Detroit. I got a gig, blah, blah, blah." And I go, "How did you you remembered me?" He goes, "Well, yeah, I guest starred on your show. You're a big TV star." I go, "Really?" Like that didn't register in my head because I think, oh, Frankie Avalon's a way bigger star.
No, he's he's such a nice,
he was a nice
down to earth, sweet
and
man.
she was so
She
lovely.
was a really sweet lady.
Remember, she was something was going on.
Beginning of her MS.
It was the beginning of MS. Yeah, I felt so bad.
Yeah,
because she was such a lovely woman.
Yeah, she was.
So, do you think Little Richard? He was in character the whole time.
What happened? Who got hit by? Didn't somebody's hand? Somebody got hit. Didn't somebody? Was it Jodie? Didn't Little Richard make a gesture and hit one of the kids in the head?
Maybe that rings a bell.
We have to ask Jodie if it was maybe Jodie.
When Jodie does the show, I'm going to ask her
if Little Richard hit her in the head.
Yeah.
I just have a memory of somebody getting clocked by Little Richard.
Well, I remember he wouldn't come out of character. He was that guy.
Yeah.
He never let it down, you know, and I just thought, wow, he's playing it to the hilt here.
And then we had the Beach Boys on. That was fun too.
Yeah. Beach Boys were fun. And then we had there were some guest stars that, I remember there was one guy who got inebriated at lunchtime and came back.
No.
Yeah. I'm not going to say his name.
You'll tell me after.
But he came back and I remember me and Bob doing an impression of him because he came back, he went somewhere for lunch and then came back and it smelled like a brewery.
Oh no.
And I remember him hitting on everybody.
Oh no.
And then me and Bob would do a character of him like, "Hi, how you doing? You work, what do you do here?" "Yeah, oh boy, you want to go out with me?" And it was just like we would
I
do.
have no recollection
I'll tell you.
of who this is.
I'll tell you. He only did one episode, and he never.
Oh, and he never came back.
Never
Was he
came back.
supposed to come back for more?
I don't think. I think
okay.
after lunch he was never coming back ever again.
Did he ever make it onto the show at all, or did?
Yeah,
they
he
just-
made it on.
Oh,
He's
okay.
on an episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a director do that too.
Oh,
We had a director that went away. We went to lunch and we couldn't find him, and he fell asleep in one of the trailers outside the stage.
oh no,
He fell asleep in somebody else's room that wasn't being used.
oh no.
And so they went and they knocked on his door, and there was like, he's not in there, So they started looking around for him, and he came back and he was just like on something.
Oh no.
And he was all sweaty and everything, and he's trying to
no.
direct the little kids, and everybody's like, keep him away from the kids.
You know who I remember I was so excited was a guest star on the show was Barry Williams, because I was such a big Brady Bunch fan, and I was so excited. And I remember we went to lunch with him, and we were just hanging on every word of.
He was a great storyteller.
Oh, he was a great storyteller and so sweet, and just all the behind the scenes stuff about the Brady Bunch. And oh my gosh, it was
Barry
great.
Williams, our huge staff here at Full House Rewind. Let's get Barry Williams on the show.
He should come on. Oh, he's just awesome.
Barry Williams, yeah. See if he's available today, so we can keep this moving here. All right, I'm gonna say part of a sentence about one of our crew.
Okay.
Is one of our crew guys, and see if you can finish the sentence. Hot, cot, trot.
Pot.
Yes. Or sometimes it was Marawatt. Marawatt. Yeah, Marawatt.
It was Sean.
It was Sean, and I'm not going to say his last name.
No, don't say Sean's last name.
but
We love Sean.
We love Sean, but he would go up in the rafters.
and smoke weed.
Yeah, and they'd get high up in the rafters, because I said, "Why are you doing it up there?" He goes, "Because all the smoke rises, man." And so they would be up in the rafters, And,
all the stuff that went on.
He would come by, and then he'd come down from the rafters, and I figured out he would make a beeline for craft service after he did that.
Oh, that's so funny.
And so he would walk by.
Get all the cookies.
And absolutely. He had the munchies. So every time he would walk by, I'd go, "Hey, you guys watch. Hot, cot, trot, Marawatt." And so every time he walked by, he'd start laughing, because he knew, that I was going to say something like that. So I remember everybody would join in, like Bob and Candace and Jodie. I don't even think they knew what they were joining in. No, but they just thought it was funny that every time Sean would walk by, I would say that. Yeah. But that's what they were doing up there in the rafters.
That's so funny. And then there was Cannonball.
Cannonball, remember him?
Cannonball.
Oh my gosh.
And where did he go on? Where did he go on the weekends? Was it Guam or Guatemala?
I'm going to Guam. I'm going to Guam.
Remember we say, have fun in Guatemala.
He goes, "I'm not going to Guatemala. I'm going to Guam."
Not Guatemala, Guam.
Guam. Like, who goes to just Guam?
For the weekend.
For the weekend. I'm flying to Guam.
Or whatever it was.
Yeah, he didn't like that we said Guatemala. He was very upset with that.
That was funny.
Can we talk a little bit about Bob and how much we loved him and how much we missed him?
Yeah.
I know that you did something very sweet the other day. You went, it was the anniversary of him passing away, and you went and visited him at the cemetery.
I go visit him quite a bit.
Do you?
Yeah, because I still do a lot of volunteer work for Project Angel Food.
Mm-hmm.
And the route that I have to deliver food for people is right near the cemetery. So I will end my route, and then I'll just go over, grab some flowers. I'll go up and I'll just check on things.
That is so sweet. I think while I'm out here this trip, I'm going to go do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to find it. Maybe you can tell me.
By the way, I know where I can go with you. I know where exactly where it is.
That is so sweet that you did that. I think Candace sent me a picture. You were supposed to come and visit or something, and you said, "I'm here."
They will. Yeah. You guys did like a little Insta.
We did a little Instagram live, and we talked about it.
And I couldn't make it on the live thing, but I just I had gone this morning, and then I sent. I think I sent a photo to maybe John, and I sent one to Kelly though, and it was so funny. Kelly, I sent the photo to Kelly, and she wrote me back. She goes, "I just left the cemetery." She goes, and she sent me a photo back of what, and we were laughing because she put like 3 tulips on Bob's yellow tulips on the headstone. And I had like just flowers everywhere. and Kelly was like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "I knew it was you. I knew you left all those flowers."
That is so sweet.
Yeah, I miss Bob.
Yeah, I miss him. You know, and I have so many bits, many of which you've seen.
That you do with Bob.
Yeah. And, I'll be driving along in my truck somewhere, and all of a sudden I'll go, and I'm like, I can't call him. Because every holidays, and you heard him do that falsetto voice, he would call me during the holidays, and it was always a filthy rendition of a Christmas song. And he would go on for 5 minutes, of course, because that was the kind of message that Bob would leave you, was always 5 minutes.
But it's hard to believe he's gone. Did you see? I watched
it's mind numbing.
I know. I watched the Chappelle comedy bit on Netflix or whatever it's on.
Right.
And,
a special?
He has a new one on.
Yeah.
Whatever it was on, I was like, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I started watching it. Does he talk about Bob in it?
No, but at the very end, they play a song, and they show all photos of Chappelle. And I'm just watching it like, photos. And then they show a really great photo of him and Bob.
Well,
the minute I saw it, I lost it.
Yeah. Well, you realize how much Bob meant to people, Yeah. I mean, he really did. And, when we were at Bob's memorial at Jeff Franklin's house, Dave Chappelle was there. And he came up to me and he said, "Man, I just, I want to tell you thank you." And I said, "What?" He said, "I looked up to your class, which was you and Bob." And he said, "I was just a young, I wanted to be a comic. I had just started." And he said, "I saw you guys on Full House and I thought, those comedians made it to television." He said, "And you inspired me." And I said, "Wow, that is so cool to hear. Like, thank you for telling me that, It was really nice to hear, because the generation in front of you, like you talked about, Jane Modine.
Right.
It always kind of, you look up to that generation that's in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's like one of the reasons I was so excited Barry Williams was on the show, right? Because
exactly.
He was on a show that, and Full House was like the equivalent of the Brady Bunch, but in our time, and but
I'm going to have him as a guest. He
would be amazing.
That's a great idea, because he is a great storyteller. I want to thank you for coming back and doing another episode. My
goodness.
I want to have you back again when you're on.
When I come on.
When you come on.
Yeah.
Which is season 2.
Season 2, episode 2.
Episode 2. Well, maybe we can kick off season 2, episode 2 with you.
That would be fun.
Would you come back?
Yeah.
Yay.
I love it. I love to spend time with you.
Yeah, me too. So real quickly, you're busy? You're doing stuff?
You know what? I have a couple projects one will be out in February, I think, that I'm super excited about.
Movie or TV series?
It's on TV.
Okay, you can't talk about this one.
I can't talk about it. And then
it's
the other
pretty cool.
one.
You were telling me a little
and then
bit
the
about
other
it.
one is, really cool job playing a role like I've never played before. I'm so thrilled that I was even given the opportunity. But that will all be coming out. And right now, I'm supposed to just keep it on the down low.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah.
All right, Lori has stuff that she
it's
can't tell you about.
It's on the down low, but it's great. And I'm super excited and I'm very grateful.
Can you play a little game before we say goodbye?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in this one, since Jesse and the Rippers opened the episode with a cappella version,
right?
We like to do a little singing game.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh no.
So you're gonna. How well do you know the Full House theme song? All right. I'm gonna start you off, but every time you need my help, you'll get 1 strike.
Oh dear.
Okay.
I am gonna need your help. Okay.
3 strikes and you're out. But you know what? You're gonna win a prize.
I'm gonna win anyway.
I'm telling you, you're
okay.
probably gonna win a prize. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. So. What are the lyrics?
Everywhere you look. right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
wait, now I'm off. Everywhere you look, everywhere you. Is it turn or no? There's a hand to hold on to. I
There's
know
a hand to
that.
hold on to.
Um,
You can't
I
get this
remember
wrong.
when you're lost
It's
out there and you're all alone. There's always a light
is waiting
waiting
to
to
carry you home everywhere you
look.
look. See, ding, 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 ding. You won. You know what? Everyone's a winner here at Full House Rewind.
Oh my goodness!
You get another hat,
another T-shirt, and
another hat, and another T-shirt. Sorry, my arms aren't.
arms.
I don't have longer arms. Oh my gosh!
Wow. I like gray. This is fantastic.
See, you're always a winner here.
I'm gonna have a lot of T-shirts.
Yes, and they're safe to wear. They're animal
safe.
free or whatever
They're safe. They're cruelty free.
Yes, they're cruelty
Got it.
free. We get to do one more thing with you, and it's the cut it out.
Cut it out.
Of course, every
Okay.
episode of Full House had that heartfelt scene. And
I remember.
We cut out a scene from episode 15, and we're going to read it together.
I'm
okay?
DJ.
So you're going to be. I'll be playing the role of Danny.
You're Danny.
And Joey, and you'll be playing DJ and Jesse.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm Danny and Joey. All right.
Okay.
Okay. The scene starts. We're in Joey's room. Okay. And Danny says, "Is this a terrific kid or what? You gave up your slumber party for me? Aw, DJ, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you."
There'll be other parties, Dad. You do so much for me. This is my chance to do something nice for you. Isn't that what being part of the family's all about?
Do you hear this? You really are growing up.
It's not fun.
DJ, you're becoming very mature and responsible.
Yeah, I guess having me for an uncle's starting to rub off on you, DJ. Uncle Jesse, you're delirious. Well, Dad, if you're not gonna leave, then I'm gonna go back to the party.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm just so honored to be a part of this family. Guys, we really are doing something right. DJ, you are one terrific kid. Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Dad, I'm leaving.
I'm gone. Thank you. Bye. Oh, heart-wrenching. Yes, it is. Thank you so much for being here.
Anytime.
I just love you, and it's
anytime. I'll come back anytime. I love you so much. I love spending time with you. I love your podcast. And I love your artwork on the wall. Did you draw those pictures?
Thank you. No, our staff. We have a huge staff here at Full House Rewind, and it's a huge staff. Did you notice we have the baby?
I see.
That's
we have
the stunt baby.
The stunt baby.
From
stunt
Full
baby
House.
from the show.
Thank you so much for being here.
Love you,
Lori
Pat.
Loughlin, everybody.
Thank you.
Huge round of applause. Here are some of my observations about episode 15. I have always been a big fan of Todd Rundgren's music. His biggest hit was a song called Hello, It's Me. In 1985, he released a song called Hoja, which the Rippers sing at the opening of this episode. John Stamos and I often shared our love of music, and one day I just started singing Hoja on the Full House stage. And of course, John picked up on it instantly. Next thing you know, the song was featured in episode 15. John's friends in the Rippers were very, very talented musicians and singers. It was a big departure for a sitcom to do something like this, but we did it, and it's part of what made, I think, Full House so unique. Episode 15 is a perfect example of us hitting our stride as a family sitcom as we all deal with the family getting sick and taking care of each other. This episode had no guest stars and no locations other than the house. It was really just our TV family becoming a family. There's no better bonding experience than being stuck in a house with your family while everyone is sick. We'd love to hear your thoughts about Full House. Tell us about your favorite episode or just why you love the show so much, or maybe you've even got a question for me. So just send us an email with the link at socials@podco.us. We close every episode of Full House Rewind by giving all of you who need it a hug. This week, our hug goes out to anyone recovering from an illness, whether it's a nasty cold or something a little more serious. We know it can be a lot to carry by yourself, and it can really get you down. So for all of you who need it, here's your Full House chicken soup for the soul hug from me. Here we go. Bring it in. Yeah. That's our show. We'd like to thank our special guest, Lori Loughlin, for stopping by. Join us next time right here on Full House Rewind, and you can watch all of our episodes on our Full House Rewind YouTube channel. So long, everybody. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Full House Rewind. We'll see you next week.